was extremely ill.
You have to tell me where he was, what he was doing.
It was his decision to go in. It's something they termed the Shimmer.
We've sent in drones and teams of people, but nothing comes back.
Looking for a sci-fi story that's truly original and not like anything you've read or seen before? Then Jeff VanderMeer is your man. He's responsible for the Southern Reach Trilogy, the first novel of which, called Annihilation, has been made into a movie directed by Alex Garland.
It's funny because there's not a whole lot of dialogue in the novel, which I think is actually interesting because it gave Alex Garland a lot of space to kind of take scenes that are just summarized in a couple sentences and kind of flesh them out without kind of interference from me. But I did see it very cinematically. I'm a very visual writer. A lot of the beats in it are actually kind of taken as translations from movies I like. The way it kind of like starts as one thing and then becomes something else and then regroups and becomes a third kind of novel by the end is very cinematic in my mind. And then the weird thing is that the movie deal was in place by the time I wrote the second book, which was great because the second book I saw as definitely being cinematic. And so I actually kind of channeled the idea this might be a movie in a positive way because there's all this subtle technique in a lot of movies that if you translate it right is really cool on the page.
You need to know what's inside. So do I. It's beautiful. Check this out.
It's like they're stuck in a continuous mutation. Anything interesting in there?
No.
As we mentioned already, the plot of Annihilation is really original, which makes us wonder just where Jeff got his inspiration from the story from.
Every detail in there is something that I've experienced in hiking and whatnot. And I've lived in North Florida now for over 20 years. I've hiked these trails. The first novel, the setting is basically the 14-mile hike I do out at St. Mark's Wildlife Refuge. And I get most of my best ideas while I'm hiking. And I think a connection to the natural world is really important, especially now when so many of us have kind of lost that.
We can camp here tonight.
There was a time when I was hiking around 2 in the afternoon and I came across a Florida panther that was walking up the trail. I had no weapons whatsoever. All I could do is stand there and wait for it to either do whatever it was going to do or walk away. And thankfully it walked away. It got within like 20 feet and it just kind of looked at me and it walked away. But it was an incredible feeling that you don't really get in this world much of, I had no control whatsoever. Whatever was going to happen was going to happen. And I think some of that comes through in what I've seen of the movie in terms of this expedition into the unknown and the uncertainty of that, and also kind of the exhilaration of that to some degree.
If you want to experience what Jeff is talking about, then go read his novels or check out Annihilation. Or give yourself a real treat and do both.
It's not destroying. It's making something new.
Like what you see? Subscribe to our channel for more exclusive clips.